Okay, we'll start. In the last session, we created one application engine. We started the inbound processing. In the inbound processing, we completed the first phase. In the second phase, loading the data from staging tables to component tables. In this step, we are going to use application engine and component interface. These two tools we will use to load data from staging table to component tables. Already we successfully loaded the staging table data by using the file layout concept. Next, component interface we have to create. Why? Because we created already the application engine. Next, we have to create the component interface. What is component interface? I already told you, whenever we are trying to load the data into the component, we need to perform all the component validations and component properties, component attributes, each and everything we have to perform. Component interface will help us in all those activities. It will help us to fire all the validations written in the component, all the properties, each and everything. Where we can create the component interface? In the application designer, hey Joycey, good evening. In the component interface, here in the application designer, we will create the component interface. As we created the application engine, we can create the component interface. Whenever I am trying to create the component interface, first system will ask us one question: select source component. It is expecting a source. Why? Because we are building a component interface based on what? Based on a component. Why? Because what I told you, in the component interface will help us to load all the, at the time of load, it will help us to perform all the validations written in the component. That means into which component you are trying to load, which component validations you would like to fire, that particular component, based on that particular component, we will create the component interface. That means now our source component it's our custom component. Whenever I selected the component, you will get a message. Do you want to default the properties based on the underlying component definition? Absolutely yes. Why? Because we are going to use each and everything, each and every statement we written, each and every property we build in the component. Click on yes. This is component interface. This is the component interface structure. Now, whenever we are learning the component interface, we have to follow some attributes. We have to fill some attributes. Name of the component interface, keys, properties, collections, methods. These 5. What is name? Simply save your component interface with a name. Name will appear here at the top. This is the component interface we created. Next, keys. You know one thing, if you observe clearly the component interface structure, it has 2 windows. Left hand side is the component structure, right hand side is the component interface structure. I'm telling you one thing. Component interface is behaving as like as our front end component. Whenever you are getting any doubt with respect to the component interface, whenever you are getting any doubt with respect to the component interface, you can refer your front end component. How front end component is behaving? In the same way, your component interface will behave. Observe carefully. We have a name for our component. Here, we have a name for our CI. Next stuff, keys. What is keys? Here are the keys. Get key, find key, create key. I can say one word. All these keys are reflecting your search and add pages here. In the search, you can search the component. In the add, you have to add a new value. Now, what are these keys? Get, find. Both are referring the search page. Create is referring add a new value page. Get and find are referring search page. Create key is referring add a new value. How? Observe carefully. Under get keys, what it is? Employee ID. Search key. Search key. All search keys in your search record will form as get keys. All search keys in your search record form as create keys. Then what about find key? Find key is nothing but a combination of search key and alternate search key. If your component doesn't have any add action, then there is no create key. In our component, this is our component. Add action is enabled. That's why your create key is available. As simple as that. Have you remember whenever we are discussing about the actions, whenever we remove the add action, then this add a new value tab is disappeared. In the same way, create key won't populate. Let's target a job data component. That means here, main menu, workforce administration, job data. Have you observed? There is no add a new value available for the job data. There is no add a new value available for the job data. Only find is available. Even if you open the component, job data, have you observed? In the properties, there is no add action enabled for this component. Whenever I am trying to create a new component interface based on the job data component, here observe carefully at the top, there is no create key, only get and find. If there is no add action in the component, there is no option for our create key. That means you are restricted to add a new value into the component. That means yes, the same. That's why I am telling you, whenever you are getting any doubt with respect to your component interface, you can compare the same with your front end. Okay, we completed the search here. We completed the search here. Next, where we will go? We will enter into the component. This is level 0. This is level 1. All these are the properties of each and every field. Joining date, gender. All these are the properties. Now, if you observe one thing, that particular comments is not available. Have you observed? Comments is not available in the component interface. User ID, date, time, stamp. These three fields are not available in the component interface structure. Why? Why? Because those are not displaying in the front end. Venkat, we are hiding the comments. I understood. But my client is sending data for comments field also. He is expecting to load the data into comments field. But our component interface structure is not showing the comments field because we hidden the comments field in the front end. Then what is the solution? We have to enable the comments field again in the front end? No, it's not required. Then how it will load? How it will fire all the validations we written for the comment? How this component interface will help us the data load of comments? There is an option. Whatever the fields you are feeling, those are missed from the component interface structure. You can pick the field from this component structure, drag and drop. Observe carefully. These comments are linked to level 0. This line, this line, this line. This line. Comments fall under level 0. Now level 1, dependent ID, name, gender, everything is displaying. Fine. Now all these are the properties. I can call these are the properties, fields available in the component. Properties. Under the properties, collection, very important stuff. What is collection? Set of rows. Yes, it's a collection. Set of rows, collection. Collection. Have you observed? There is no collection for level 0. Absolutely, there is no set of rows. That is why in the backend also for level 0 there is no collection available. Collections are available other than level 0. Why? Because there is a set of rows possibility. Only this is the difference. How collection will help us? When we are loading the data. Very important stuff. Please listen carefully. Already data is there in your component like this. Employee ID, name, employee ID, dependent ID, name. 01, ABC, 02. For the employee number 1, D01, employee number 1, D02, employee number 2, D01, like this. You have already data in your database. Now, sorry. Now, I am giving you a file data. In the file data, employee ID, dependent ID, name. For employee ID number 1, D02, depend 2. Employee ID number 1, D03, dep 3. Employee ID number 2, D02, dep 2. If I am giving you this data, if I'm asking you to load, first, this data is already available in the database. Now you are targeting this load today. Okay, forget about component interface. You are loading manually. First, what you will do, I gave you the employee ID. First, what you will do, you will go to your component. First, you will check employee ID is existed or not. It is existed. How backend will perform? Find key or create key will helps us, or get key, find key or get key will helps us to search the data. Okay, we searched it. It is available. That means level 0 information is available. Done. Next, for this employee ID, what you will do, you will check this dependent table, dependent file. For this employee ID, I gave you in the file dependent D02. Now, you open this employee like this. Then, already 3 rows of dependents are all already available in the database. How do you know? Why? Because it's a collection available already in the database with respect to this employee ID. These many dependents are available in the database. This is called collection. Then you will explore the collection. That means you will go one row by row into the collection. You will check. In the file, Venkat gave us D02. No, it is not D02. Hey, it is D02. Any update came? Yes, it is update. Why? Because this row is existed in the database. Then what you will do? You found, okay, this is existing row in the database already here. Then you found one update came. Then you will update this dependent name. Next, dependent 3. Dependent 3. Okay, it is available. Fine. Then here also it will update. Let us imagine it's D04 I gave you. D04. Okay. You checked D01, D02. Okay, it is available. You updated it. D03. In your file, D03 is not there. Then you were looking for D04. There is no D04. Dependent 4 is not there. Then what you will do? You will add a new row manually. D04. That means here what we are doing, with the help of this collection, we are checking each and every row of file data. Is it already available in the database? Then we are updating the database. The file data is not available in the database. We are creating the data in the database. Next, employee ID 1 details are done. Next, you will save it. You will go to the next employee. Okay, employee is there. No need to create an employee. Fine. Then for the dependent table, for the employee number 2, D02, D01, you will compare this key field, D01, D01. No, it's not matching. Then go to the next. Okay, D02, D02, it's there. Then you will update. Here also, update the data. If I given one more row in the file, D03, depth 3, you will check for third row. It is not available. Only 2 rows are available. D01 and D02 are there. This D03 is not available in the database. Then you will create manually. Here you will create it. The same operation you will perform in the backend. This is called collection. Scroll is nothing but a collection of data. In front end, whenever we are loading the data manually, how this collection helping us in the front end? In the same way, this collection will help us in loading the data from the backend. Please let me know. Are we clear about this collection concept in the CI?
Venkat, we'll get separate files for update and insert, or we're getting only one file?
Same file. That's what I'm saying. Whatever it may be, it's a separate or why? Because even your client don't know about your data, right? It might be sometimes existing data may come for update, right? Sometimes new data will come up. How we will do that? Insert based on this collection. The collection will play a major role in loading the data. Are we clear? Are still any questions from any one of you? Subhash, any question? Or we move further?
No.
Yep, thank you. Now, method. Access. Get access, find access, create access, save access, cancel access. What are these accesses? If all the methods have access, by using CI, you can create each and everything. If this create method don't have any access, then by using the CI, you can't load the data, new data. You can't create the data in the CI, in the component by using the CI. Where we can see these accesses, I will show you in the next step. But keep in mind, method is nothing but an access. We completed all attributes. Next, we created the CI. Is the CI is a perfect CI? Right click on the CI, validate for consistency. No errors found. Okay, fine, done. Next, what we have to do? Are we going to use the CI directly? In component interface, first step, create the CI. Next step, secure the CI. Next step, test the CI. We created the CI. Secure the CI. How we will secure our CI? What is the meaning of security? I don't want to give access to all of the users to create and update the component by using this component interface. I would like to give access for very limited users. Venkat, we created the CI in the back end. Yes. Now we have to go to the front end. Where? Main menu, people tools, main menu, people tools, security, permissions and roles, permission list. Under the permission list, we will provide the CI access. Which permission list? You have to discuss the same with your functional users or your BIs or your architects. Why? Because all of the users in the organization will have some different roles. Based on those roles, we will give some accesses. For our demo machine, I'm adding this in PTPT 1000 permission list. Under the permission list, we touched this concept pages. Now we will touch this component interfaces. Here you can add your component interface. EMP CI. After adding the CI here, don't save it directly. Click on edit. You see, here is the access, method access. Very important stuff. I'm giving the full access. Click on OK, save it. That means who are all the users are accessing this permission list are permitted to access the CI, and all those users are permitted to perform all the methods given under this permission list. Now, Venkat, I will use the same CI. For a set of users, I would like to give the create access. For some set of users, I don't want to give the create access. Yes, 100% we can do. Where? We will add the CI to one more permission list. For God's grace, it's gone again. Here, in this, people tools, security, permissions, and those permission lists. Venkat, how can I know how many users are accessible or permitted to access the CI under this permission list? You can come down, you see here the permission list queries, or here also you can see the permission list queries. Permission lists, user IDs. Which user IDs are assigned to this permission list? 205 users are permitted to access that CI with all these permissions. Now I will attach this CI to some other permission list. I am removing create access for that particular permission list. Then those set of users who are associated with this permission, with that particular permission list, those are not permissible to create the data. This is very important. It depends on your roles, how you are designing in your organization, and how you would like to give the permissions. Now you successfully secured your CI. Next, test the CI. Where we can test it? In the application designer. This is the CI. Right click, test component interface. A pop-up will come up like this. You see, component interface tester. Enter key values, choose function. I already told you, component interface is nothing but your component behavior. In my component, if I am giving as employee ID is a search key in our component. If I am giving search, it is giving us the results. Employee ID, information, 4 dependents are there, 2 educational institutions are there for the first dependent, like that. Each and every information it is giving us. It should give the same information from the backend. Get key. Double click here, add 01. Otherwise, let us say 99, get existing. No row exists for the specified keys. Here in the front end, give 99, no matching values were found. That means here also it is not fetching the employee ID. Why? Because this employee ID is not available in the component. Here also it is not fetching the data. Why? Because no row exists based on this key. 01. See here, the data ID is populating. Test 1. You can compare the data. Test 1. Gender is female. Yes, female. Active, yes. Comments, it is not visible here, but here you can see the comments. You can see the comments in the database. Next, joining date, 1965, March 26th. Yes. Open the dependent table. It's a collection. You see 4 dependents are there. Yes, 4 dependents are there. Dependent 1, D01, dependent 1, male, street 1, California, USA. Under the dependent 1, how many institutions are there? For this dependent, how many educational institution information is available? Two. Each and everything it's collecting. NID information, salary information, each and everything it is collecting. That means we can confirm one thing, right click on the save, CI, cancel it. We can confirm one thing, get key is working fine. Next, find key. Go to the application. Find means you can find by employee ID or name. It's a combination of search and alternate search keys. Okay, if in the name, if I give test, 8 results are coming. 8 results are coming. Now, here also give test in the name, find. Here 8 results are coming. If you pick one of the result, test number 8, get selected. It is giving us the data. Test 8, April 9, 2018, unknown. That means one more confirmation, find key also working fine. Now we are going to test the very, very important key, create key. Application designer, add a new value as it is generating automatically. Why? Because we written the code in the row in it to increment the employee ID based on the last saved employee ID. Yes, it is. Click on add. Observe carefully. 9, name, joining date. It's defaulting the joining date in the front end. Is it? Yes, in the back end. Unknown, it is defaulting. Yes, it is defaulting here. Now, I'm not doing anything. Try to save it. Have you observed? It is erroring out. Save results, return value is 0. At the bottom, you see the error. Field name is required. You must enter value before it proceeding. Even you try it here. Highlighted fields are required. Name. Yes, name is required. Okay, try to give the name. Test 09. Gender. We all of us know. In gender, we created translate values. Male, female, unknown. M, F, U are only acceptable values. I am giving A. We all know it's not a valid value. It's not a valid value. It is giving the error. Invalid value. Press the prompt button or hyperlink for a list of valid values. How many times you try? Those many times it will give you the error. N. Now I am giving male. Oh, sorry. Here. Male. Active. We know active is a checkbox. It will accept Y or N. Here I am giving A. Active. I thought like that. No. Here you see, value must either be Y for yes and for no. No other possible values. I am giving H. One more time the error pop up. Okay, Y. Active. Comments. Dependent table. I am adding a dependent ID. D01. Dependent name. Gender. Male. Address. City. State. Okay. Here I am adding the country. We know we designed to accept only valid countries. A, B, C. Invalid value. Country. Property. Country. Invalid value. Press the prompt button or hyperlink for a list of valid values. Then you have to give a valid value. USA. Venkat, can we test it? It is accepting one more dependent. Insert item. Here. D02 depth 2, okay, India, something. Now, you see, we created two dependents. Like that, we can create institutions also here. Now, we designed one more validation in the salary table. Job code, okay, job 1. Salary, we written some validation. It must and should be salary basic greater than or equal to 5,000. Now I am giving 2,500. Have you observed? Please enter basic salary greater than or equals to 5,000. Okay, 5,000. It is calculating gross amount here as per our front end functionality. 11th, 1,000. It is calculating 6,000. But we know 11th amount must and should be less than or equal to 500. We written the code, but where we written the code in the save edit. Now I am trying to save my component by right click on the CI name, click on save. Return value 0. Please enter 11th less than or equals to 500. 500 I am giving. 5,500. Save it. Return value 1. Now you successfully saved the row. Venkat, we added a row via component interface. Is it available in the front end now? Yes, it is. Test 09, active, mail, D01, dep1, D02, dep2, India. Compensation, job, 5,000, 500, 5,500. That means we can confirm one thing. Our CI is working perfectly. It is behaving as like as the front end. We are done with the CI. We created the CI. We secured the CI. We tested the CI. Next, what we have to do? Yes, we can use the CI in load. How?
Venkat,
please.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Venkat?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, we use component interface for validating. I mean, it automatically does the validation, right?
Yes.
So what's the point in having component interface tester again?
No. Tester means, is it behaving properly? Is it firing all the validations or not? Just we are checking.
Yeah,
No. Don't think in a way we are adding manually like this. It's just a tester. It's just
yeah.
We won't load the data in this manner. We are just testing a row of data. Is it working fine or not? That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
even in real time, we need to test the component interface. Is it working properly?
If you are creating a new component interface, test it once for better results. Right? Is it firing each and everything? Is it missing anything? Something like that. Got it?
If it is a big big component, testing all those fields is, if we have many fields, then we can't test every field, right?
No. That's what I'm saying. It's your convenience. What I am suggesting, test it once. Do one transaction in the front end. Whenever you're doing one transaction in the front end, you can note it down, right? Okay, what are all the fields are mandatory fields? What are all the fields are firing coding? Something like that. Not all the things, but some part of component you can test via CI.
So even we can find, we can see any errors in component interface.
Yes, there is a possibility. Yes, there is a possibility. Why? Because I told you Here also, some fields are missing. We added them, right?
Yeah.
Like that, application designer, sometimes it may behave somewhat of odd. Very occasionally, very occasionally, even 0.0001%.
Okay.
It won't take much time to test the CI, right? Is it getting data? Is it finding data? Is it creating the data? Just add a row, test data, right?
Okay.
Do it. It's a good practice.
Okay.
Now, our CI is ready. Then, what we have to do with this CI? How it will help us in loading the data? We have to include the CI logic in application engine program. Yesterday we used file layout stuff. Now I am adding a new step and action, people code, drag and drop the CI. You know, the entire coding will generate for you. But yesterday what I told you, no need to change anything, but here we have to change a lot. That's why at the starting, they clearly mentioned this is a dynamically generated people code template to be used only as a helper to the application developer. You need to replace all references to, you have to replace some references and variables in this entire coding. This is the CI people code. Every new learner will see this code and have some phobia. How we will handle this? You know one thing? Again I'm telling you, again I'm guiding you. How you compare the CI structure with the front end. You have to compare the code with the front end. Absolutely. It will be the same. How big it is, how big CI it is, doesn't matter. Now, let's see. I'm creating a CI. You know, the biggest component in the HRMS, job data. This is the job data component CI. You see how much time it is taking us to dragging upwards. Just save it as, okay, create one application engine. If you are adding this people code here, if you are adding this, drag and drop the CI. Oh, see, you have to save it first. Okay, in the people code, just drag and drop the CI. You know how much big people code it got generated. The same statement. How big it is? Why it is so much of big? Why? Because it has a complex structure in the component itself. So many level 1, so many level 2s, level 3s, like this. Here like this. How many level 1s are there in this component? You can't imagine. Within each and level 1, how many level 2s, how many level 3s? You know, within level 1, how many level 2s are there? No need to worry about it. Common coding template will generate. It's a small component or it's a bigger component. It doesn't matter. How we will understand this coding? Very simple, you know, it's very simple. Don't look at the code. First compare the code with your front end. Remove this line, it's just a suggestion. Remove this. What are these? Declarations. Simply declarations. File, they declared API object, application programming interface objects. CI, all your collections, dependent table collection, institution table location, national ID, salary. This is a function error handler. Even you see here, function error handler after the declarations. They created a log file, they declared a log file, and they are opening the log file to write some errors for our understanding. They written the log file. You know one thing? This is the single line statement. We are starting our session. Session. What is session? Simply, if I am giving you a file, if I am asking you to load the data, first what you will do? You will sign in with your user ID and password. This is called session. That means in the front end, we are opening the session. In the back end, we are simply writing a statement percentage session. Who is the user logged in? Here, PS logged in. Then this session will capture user details. Who is the user logged in? This is just for a message, you can ignore it. This is one more important statement in the code. Get the component interface. Okay, once you enter into the component, where you will go? I asked you to add the data. Then you will go to the component. You will try to open the component. Yes, it is opening perfectly. Here also, you logged in here, you came here, you are trying to access the CI. Why? Because in the backend there is no component to load the data. CI. Observe carefully. Session. You are loading the session details in a variable ampersand session. Ampersand session. User is trying to access the CI. When this variable, that means user is trying to access the CI, if he accessed properly, if he accessed successfully, CI will come into this variable. If he is not accessed, if he is not permitted, then null will come. Nothing will come. That means null. Get component reference. Can you explain me when this situation will occur?
If there is no security for that component, then we will get
You
this
are not
problem.
the permitted user. Simple, right?
Yeah, it's not permitted.
Where we given the permission? In the permission list. I told you, I showed you just before 10 minutes.
And in the above statement is equal to 1. Like you saw that one ampersand session.
This is for the message catalog. You can ignore it. You don't need to change it by any cost. Leave it.
Okay.
PeopleSoft messages only. Okay?
No, the ampersand is there, no?
Where ampersand? Here?
Ampersand session. Yeah.
Under this session, the user is accessing the PeopleSoft messages.
Oh, okay.
That's why no need to change it. Please keep as it is.
Okay.
That means here user entered into the PeopleSoft session. He accessed the CI. If he permitted, then CI will come. If he is not a valid user, error will pop up. That means you successfully open the component here. Like this, you successfully accessed the CI here. Next, what you will do? Generally, whenever you are opening the component, your front end will decide you are accessible only for fetch the data. You are accessible only for add the data. Like that, here also, interactive mode is always false. What we are doing here, setting the component interface mode. Interactive mode, I am suggesting it should be always false. Now I am getting it out. Venkat, you are suggesting interactive mode is always false. But in my component, I written some code in the field edit and field change. What will happen? Those will fire at the time of save. 100%. Here also, we written people code for basic salary. We given 1200. I'm not tapping out. I saved it. It's firing. Even though the interactive mode is false, the written people code, whatever the code you written in the field edit, it will fire at the time of save. That is why I don't want to disturb the flow of the component interface. I'm making it false. Next, for this CI means component. CI means component, nothing. There is no difference. For this CI, get history items is true. Can you explain this statement, any one of you?
Existing data, that's correct.
That's it. You're getting the data. It's true. Edit history items is false. What is this?
Change the history data.
Can you just guess which component action mode is coming under this criteria? How many component action modes are there?
Update display, this one I think it is a correction.
How many component action modes are there?
Update display and create, add.
Okay, only those two?
Maybe update display all.
Any other? How you will correct the history data in the front end?
Correct. In the correction mode.
That's it. Correct history, right? Correction.
Yeah.
Add, update display all, and correction. This is referring update display all. This is referring correction mode. Yes, Venkat. My client is sending some updated data for the history information, for the current information, then make it as true. Otherwise, false.
Okay.
Is it make sense, these two statements to all of you?
Yeah.
Next. Where we are? We are here. Set component interface, get, okay, go ahead.
In this correction history, so you already have a data in the database, and in the file, it has been changed. So when you are entering the value in the component, will the component already have the value, or it is the component is blank and now you are entering the value from the table to the component and then validating, right?
You know one thing, I haven't understood anything.
Okay, so usually in the correction history, what we did is
not only the correct history, any data which is available in the component, editing the history, editing the existing data is false or true. You are deciding here. Edit history items. Generally, just for your understanding, I am highlighting the correct history mode. We are using the correct history to correct the existing and history data, right? Here also, edit history items, which is available in the component, we can update the data. Yes. If you are setting true, yes. If it's false, you can't update. You can't write update statements on the existing data.
So in that case, will it give an error or it will just keep that record, which is
you have to
date?
You have to design that logic.
Okay.
I will show you. Okay, it's true. Fine. Next, where we are? What it is this? Set component interface get and create keys. Now we are on the set page. Here. We are on the set page. Generally in the set page, what we will do? We will add, we will give employee ID, search it. Employee ID, search it like this. Here, it is expecting a value here. In this component, in the search page, what is the employee ID? In the file, where is our file data? Already we loaded our file data in our staging tables. We have to pass this information here. Not directly, it won't accept. the direct record references except AET record. I will tell you how we will. But finally, this is the value I am expecting to populate here. It's my target. I will tell you how we will pass the value later. But in general, in the search page, we will give the employee ID. But in the backend, where is our employee ID stored? Our employee ID is already stored in the staging table. From file, we picked the employee ID and we stored in the staging table. We will pass the employee ID here. Then system will perform the search. If not get, it is executing the get. If not get, are we expecting any error? No, I'm not expecting any error. Employee is not there, that's it. Then uncomment this one. Either one of these should be true. Either get or create. Get is failed. That means there is no employee is available. That means this is the scenario. Employee is not there. Then what we have to do? We would like to create it. Create it. Venkat, is there any such type of scenario? These two rows will fail, two options will fail. Can you guess it? Get is failing, create is also failing. Can you just guess it? In which are all the scenarios? Any possible scenario like that? Here itself. That means in the search, we are failing, not getting the data. In the add, I am giving 99 and click on add, it is failing. It is stopping me here itself. Yes, there is a possible scenario. I will show you some delivered tables. This is the table. I am giving share. Let us say, here it is failing. It is not getting the data. Even though I am giving share, here I am giving GGG, it is failing. Let us say GGG is coming here as a set ID. My client is sending GGG is the set ID. Try to add it. It is failing. Why? Because in add a new value or searching the data in the search record is a prompt table. It will accept only some values, only prompt suggestions. It will accept only prompt suggestions, not your own values. This is the possible scenario. Then here itself, your component interface will be errored out. Then if not get, if not create, if not get, I don't want to throw any error. If not get, if not create, throw error. I can design like this. If not get, fine. If not create, then throw the error. In 99% scenarios, either this one or this one will be succeeded. Okay, anyone is succeeded. Search is completed. Where we are? In the front end. Where we be? On the page. Here also on the page. Level 0. Properties. Employee ID, name, joining date, gender, comments, active and comments. All the fields. You have to populate. You have to uncheck this. You have to uncomment this line and you have to populate the employee ID value. You have to uncomment this line. You have to populate the name. Uncomment this line. You have to populate the joining date. All these are the log file lines. Those are not that much important. You have to populate your staging data here. Why? Because we are on the level 0. Level 0 was done. Okay, level 1. Get dependent table collection. Parent is what? Parent is root. Root. Root means level 0. We are in the level 1 now. We are adding the level 1 data. Level 1 is done for dependent. Next what? Institution. Parent is dependent table. Educational institution is done. Next, dependent is done. Next, institution. Sorry, institution is done with the parent of dependent. Next, location. Parent is what? Institution. You know, level 3 also done. My looping ended here. As in the front end, here is the loop completed. 3 boxes are completed. Like 3 for loops are completed. Next, what we can enter? NID table, which is a level 1 in our page. Level 1 NID table is a parent. Parent is root. Salary table, parent is root. Venkat, we added the data perfectly. Save it. If not save, error. We can throw the error. Cancel we won't use in the backend. If not save, error it out. We are done with the code. But what I explained you just now, I explained you the portion of code which will be compared to the front end. Which we can compare to the front end. Is it as simple as that? Adding the data here, in each and every area? It's not as simple as that. Venkat, why? Okay, just imagine. Coming to I will take 10 more minutes, not more than that. Is it okay, all of you? Only 10 more minutes.
Okay for me.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here, if I am adding employee ID, okay, I will add employee ID here and I will try to search the database. If it's not available, then I will add the employee details here. Okay, fine. Here, observe carefully, dependent table. Whenever I coming to the dependent table, it is calling the collection. What will happen, in the level 0, you are passing employee ID. Based on this employee ID, how many dependents are there in the dependent table, which is a database table, not staging table. Observe carefully. Why? Because in the CI structure, we have not included any staging. It is not possible. It is collecting how many dependents are available in the dependent table with respect to this employee ID. All the dependents will come into this collection. Simple as that. Here is the collection. Now it is grabbing all the dependents information which is already available in the database. If the employee ID is existed, yes, there is a possibility of dependents in the database. It is checking. It is collecting all the dependent details and it is storing in a collection. Okay, done? Fine. It is creating a loop here. Observe carefully. It is creating a loop. For what? For this collection. For this collection, it is creating a loop. I am collecting these employee details. Okay, we will go to the employee ID 1 in the front end better. Just imagine we are getting the data. Employee ID 1 in the database, so in the file. I am collecting. I found employee IDs existed. Okay, fine. I came here. This is the collection which is already available in the database. That means this is the one. It is creating a loop for this collection. That means 1 to 4. Why? Because we know 4 rows are there. 1 to 4. It is looping. Okay. Now you are passing. You picked the dependent ID 2. Where you picked? That's my point. Venkat, I will pass here. I will pass here the dependent ID from the dependent staging table. Like this, I will pass. Okay. Where you picked all of the dependents. Why? Because in your file, you are getting more than one dependent, not a single dependent. Where you are conveying a message to the system, I am having two dependents in the staging table. Each and every dependent should be checked before the load. It is going to create or is it going to update? Have you got my question, all of you? Have you got my question? This is the complexity. This is the only complex thing in the entire code. This is the only complex thing. We have to write some row set functionality as we written the row set functionality in the people code. Yes, we written the row set functionality in the people code to access level 0, 1, 2, 3. Here also we have to written some row set functionality. You know one thing, this is the only complex technique in CI. I will explain you on Monday. Why? Because I need a complete session for that to explain more clearly. We will discuss it on Monday. I'm assuring you how much big CI it is doesn't matter. It will generate a common template like this. Even you go here, our job data CI. Here is the function. Here we are entering the session. Our user is trying to access the CI. Here we are designing the modes. Here we are entering the search data. We are trying to get it, not create. Why? Because in the CI of job, there is no create action. Here we are trying to get it. If not get, here itself it will fail. If it's get it, then again level 0, level 1, more fields in the job. Level 2, parent is job, like that. Number of level 1s, level 2s. Based on that only structure build. Finally, save, close. There is no big deal to handle the CI coding. First of all, you have to understood the code, how they're written. Each portion of the code, what it is doing. If you are getting any doubt, go to the front end. How the functionality is working. 100%, not 100%, 1000%, the same functionality will appear in this people code. Why? Because CI is a replica of the component. Does it make sense to all of you, or any questions to me?